Okay, hi there, yearbook. We're going to talk about editing today, which is really important, whether we're writing a body copy or captions for our yearbook. So when it comes to editing, what you need to know is it's a long process. It doesn't just happen at the end when you have written everything. The best editing happens throughout the writing process. So the editor and the writer need to work together from the beginning all the way to the end, and that way the content improves throughout the process. Editors, you need to set up mini deadlines for the writing and also conduct conferences with the writer throughout the process. A person is a lot more open to feedback and critiques and suggestions and revisions if we do it continuously throughout the process. If we just do a whole bunch of editing at the end and we really, slash and butcher their product that they've been working really hard on, that they thought was perfect, someone's going to be a lot less happy about that versus if we do little edits throughout, little conferences, lots of feedback, constructive feedback throughout the process, someone is a lot more happy to have that done to them versus slash and kill and big revisions at the end. So writers, what you need to know is you need to continually edit and revise. Like I mentioned, it's a live process. It isn't just one and done, thank you ma'am. We will continue to edit and tweak and adjust things until it has gone to be published. So editors, your job is to try and help the writer, not just improve the story. Give them feedback as to how to write better, how to improve their process, how to improve their questions. The best way to find out how to help someone is to ask questions of them. Asking questions makes the writer think about what they have done and what they need to do. It makes them kind of self-critique their own process, makes them really think about and pick apart the why behind their writing style and how they've come up with that end product. So ask questions. Okay, so next thing with editing. This hopefully is kind of obvious, but accuracy is imperative. With the yearbook, once it's printed, it's out there. We cannot tweak or revise it. It's not like, social media posts where you can click on it and edit it after the fact. So we need to make sure that when we do something that it is accurate. And that's because people pay a lot of money for our yearbook and they will have it for many years to come. So we need to make sure names and other facts have been checked. Writers, this is your job first. You need to check names and your facts. You don't just ever assume that you know how to spell someone's name. You might think that it's spelled a certain way, but turns out that they have a kind of crafty different way of spelling it. So we always check names and areas. We also need to check our spelling, grammar, and punctuation, as well as our sentence structure. These all need to be correct in the publication. And that's again because we're creating a professional document. We want to make sure that we do the best job we can possible. We do have a spell check feature on Yearbook Avenue, thank goodness, but we also need to check our grammar and punctuation. Those are all very important. So again, accuracy is imperative. We do have a fact-checking team, but it's not up to them. They are just the final check, but it's up to you throughout the process to check your accuracy. So we also need to make sure that we're adhering to our particular publication style guide, which is posted on the drive in the resource folder. We need to make sure that we all use the same method for things about how the source is credited, the way we refer to people being that their titles, names, identification, capitalization, punctuation, abbreviations, spelling, and numbers. They all need to be consistent throughout the publication. We have many different writers, many different staffers, but we all collectively come together and produce one document. So it needs to look like and sound like it's coming from one person, one voice, one style. So again, part of the editing process is making sure you're adhering to the style guide for our particular publication. Another thing is editing for style. Editing goes beyond proofreading, so we need to make sure that it's not just spelled correctly, that it has correct grammar or punctuation. We also need to edit it and make sure it's interesting for the reader. We need to pay attention to substance, style, correctness, consistency. We need to also focus on the readability and the thoroughness of your writing. Resources to help with your editing. A dictionary. Dictionary is a wonderful thing to use to make sure you're spelling words correctly in case you don't have a spell check. Can't say that word. A thesaurus is a great thing to use. You can just Google a thesaurus. If you are using the same word over and over and over again, use that to come up with different ways to say the same thing. And then also very importantly, that you're using the associated press style book in the libel manual. We use AP style when writing because we want to be consistent throughout our publication. We want to have a professional sounding publication. You can use AP style online. You can check how to do AP style by going to their website. Otherwise, we have manuals in our staff cupboard. And then make sure that you are following guidelines to improve your writing throughout the yearbook. So some other style guidelines when we're writing, verbs should always be used in past tense and with active voice. We need to use, make sure to avoid adverbs and use stronger verbs when describing things. So we write in past tense because when we write it, nobody's going to read it until way after the fact because we're writing things about October, but people aren't going to get their yearbook until May. So it's presented after the fact. Active voice verbs let the subject take action versus passive forms should be avoided. Forms like to be, only when really, really necessary because otherwise they're awkward. And then we want to use strong descriptive verbs versus adverbs. So nouns, we want to make sure with our nouns that we're painting a picture. Oh, baby's still sleeping, we're good. So rather than say students, which we really, really, really don't want to use that word to be a noun anywhere in our publication because it's just too easy. Use things like musicians or athletes or trumpeters. Use other ways to use a noun. Don't just use students. In fact, don't use it at all. Point of view when you're writing, you should always be writing in third person and use objective terms like he, she, they. And then with your paragraphs, keep them short and sweet. So shorter sentences and shorter paragraphs are more reader friendly, more interesting. If we draw on and 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 on, it's really boring for our viewers. So keep things kind of quick pace as far as your sentence length and your paragraph length. It'll make it a lot more interesting and a lot more enjoyable for your reader. Okie doke, guys. So hopefully you picked up a couple things on how we write in yearbook land, and also some things about editing, whether you're an editor or a writer or just a general staffer. Remember that everyone is a writer on our staff. It's not just those that take the lead position with writing. So make sure you feel comfortable about how to edit yourself and how to write in AP style, how to write in past tense, and what kind of style we use with our Lycos yearbook. Okay, have a great day, Yerds. I'll talk to you later. Bye.